Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rudol's Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 10 Italian auto-reloading medium, the Progetto 65. One of my favorite mediums in the entirety of the game, for one simple reason: it's an auto-reloader, and more specifically, a reverse auto-reloader. What do I mean by that? Well, if we take a look at the majority of auto-reloaders in the game, like the Caro 45-ton, Cranvan, or the Minotauro, you will lose damage per minute the more you eat into the clip. And this is very easy to showcase. If we make our way over to the Caro, we can see that each shell you shoot is a longer reload. So when you have your whole clip loaded, shell 4, which is your first one you're going to shoot, is going to take 4.53 seconds to load, plus the 3.53 second interclip. So it's going to give you about 2800 DPM. Dumping into your next shell is going to be a longer reload plus the interclip, and then the next shell is an even longer reload plus the interclip, and finally you have shell 1, which is 21 seconds. And that's also the case for the Kron. The more shells you eat, the longer your reload gets, and that is also the case for the Minnow. However, for the Progetto, this vehicle, the first shell takes 8 seconds to reload because you got a 5-second reload plus the 3-second interclip. The third shell takes 7.7 seconds to reload, and because there is no interclip for the third shell, because it's your first shot you load, that means that this tank actually has more damage per minute on no shells loaded into the gun than when it has all 3. In theory, what that means is, let's say there is a 62A in front of you, and it tries to rush you. That means you can shoot all 3 of your shells, and then have a base of 2,800 damage per minute. So you essentially have 1,050 damage, plus 2,800 DPM. That is incredible, and it allows the Progetto to literally beat any other tank as long as you have shells loaded. So let's see what we can do here. Up against us we have a Leopard 1, a Progetto, and a Sheridan, plus a Skoda T50. We also have 3 mediums, Vickers Light. Okay, I mean, we got some decent tanks on our team. Just, it's very weird to see the one time I play a medium, we're up against 4 of them. Now, the Progetto is quite fast. It features a top speed upwards of, I think, 58 kilometers per hour. It's got a good power to weight after Wargaming buffed it not too long ago. Plus, its gun, while not very accurate, does feature a nice beefy alpha of 350. So it's got a decent chunk of alpha. It's got honestly just a lot going for it when it comes to the gun. So the enemy Progetto overpokes and somehow gets away with it. That's actually rather surprising. But we were able to pen the second shell into his vehicle and the third shell. See, if I was in a Caro in this exact situation, I would have been worried about dumping my shells. But in a tank like the Progetto, I don't care. Because I don't lose DPM, I'll just keep shooting this Prog over and over and over. He'll keep playing like an absolute buffoon. And we'll see if I can get another shell out. Here we go. Pokes into the open. I get another nice shot. And just like that, our Progetto is going to finish off that player. We can see the Sheridan was all the way in the back. I'm not going to poke him, though, because Sheridans are quite nasty, and I don't want to lose 600 health just because I, poked him. So we're going to play this a bit cautious. Now, the reason I'm making a video on the tank today is because it has the new legendary camo, which I have to say looks really, really nice. Oh, we got the IS-8 right in front of us, so let's pull over this ridge, aiming. Now, something else I should say about the Prog is that it features really solid gun depression, allowing it to be quite flexible on any ridgeline. And you can see, even though the dispersion is pretty mediocre on the tank, the shells hit. I mean, it's not great accuracy, but as long as you're aiming quite well, you're going to hit the majority of your shots. So at this point, all I'm probably going to go for is this 183, who's all the way in the back. Let's just reload our final shell. 3, 2, 1, and there's 1 shell into the enemy 183. 2 shells into the enemy 183, and a bonk, just like that. We finished off the FE2 and 5B 183. All that's left over here is the enemy Sheridan, who's going to get shot by the Tortoise, and we're just going to drive on over, and bonk, there you go. Just like that, we did, what, 3,500? Yeah, 3,500 damage, came out with a victory. This tank is just really fun. I can't say it's the best tier 10, but there's a lot of people that believe it's not strong, and that's completely far from the truth. The Progetto is not only one of my better performing mediums due to the fact that it is an auto-reloader, but it's just a really enjoyable tank. Like, occasionally the gun will troll you. Its dispersion is bad. It's, I think, .335 or something like that. Let me double check. Or let's see, it is, yes, 0.335. So it's got quite an inaccurate gun. And I did try running refined on this vehicle. It's just not great because you need vertical stabilizers to have that on-movement dispersion, which you noticed me using when shooting at the 183, backing up, stuff like that. So it's still very important on a medium to use on-movement dispersion due to the fact you're mobile. But let's see what we can do in this game. We got the 60 TP, Concept 1B, IS-7. Okay, they got a lot more heavies this time, only being a Sheridan and a Vickers light. Now, fighting a Sheridan and a Vickers is a bit cringe. I don't want to have to fight two of the stronger light tanks. In fact, two of the probably best lights for the average player. And then we have a Sheridan. Okay, I mean, it's not a bad lineup, but we do have a 50B, and comparing that to their heavies, it's going to be sus. I would say the chances of us winning is going to be a little bit less just based on the lineup, but hopefully I can get some early game damage here. You can see even though the dispersion's pretty mediocre, it's still actually pretty well aimed in once you're sitting still. So we got the 268, we got the Vickers, there you go, one shell into the enemy Vickers. We're not able to get a second one out, but we were able to get a second shell into the enemy object. 268, we did end up getting spotted, and of course our 50B is already destroying himself. As I told you, 50B players are just, they're bad. I mean, there's not much else to say. 50B players are just really bad at the game. So we got the 268 in the back. Unfortunately, our first shell did miss his lower plate. Unfortunately, our second shell missed his lower plate. And incredibly, we also managed to get shot by the YAG in the lower plate. So that's really, really agitating. I did not realize our lower plate was showing that much, but because it is, this is not going great. Even worse than that, the 268 version 4 on our team is useless, and he's camping on the other side of the map. So as of right now, this is, yeah, it's a complete loss. I mean, I'm actually speechless on how bad this team is. So let's see if I can get some damage into the enemy Sheridan. There's one shot into his vehicle, 2 shots into his tank. Let's just keep on going back and forth, and 3 shells. Just like that, we were able to take a pretty solid chunk off of the Sheridan. I'm going to just back on up here. Let's see if I can get another shell in. A bonk. There you go. And leaving. Unfortunately, he was able to hit us. But again, it doesn't matter. I mean, looking at this team here, it's a pretty big disaster. We got the YAG on my rear. I'm kind of hoping this IS-7 drives over, which he's not for some reason. Come on, just drive over, bro. What am I going to do to you? Oh, my rat. All right, well, let's get one tracking shell into his tank, and at this point, let's just see if we can... Nope, unfortunate. But it looks like our Ram actually killed him, which is honestly kind of funny. Let's reload again here. The concept is going to shoot our V4, which means I can get one shell in, but doesn't matter as the 268 kills us. We still did 2,900 damage, to be fair. The Progetto, again, it's a great tank. I mean, the auto-reloading gun and capabilities allows you, even in a situation like this where your team is trash, to get out decent chunks of damage. Autoloaders are just better at getting damage out than single-shot tanks, because when you're dying, you get to dump your clip, and sometimes you get an extra 700 to 1,000 damage. So we did fine. We did upwards of 2,925 damage, which is most definitely top on the team. Yeah, we did almost 3 times higher than the next performer, which was our absolutely stupid V4 that went to the other side of the map. Our 50B platoon was, ooh, yeah. Well, as I said, this was a loss right from the beginning. I mean, they literally got a 50%er. It's just whatever. I'm not going to complain because there's nothing to complain about when you get a situation like that. The Progetto is great. The gun, the mobility, everything about the vehicle feels absolutely fantastic. And the new camo just looks great on the vehicle. It actually makes me want to drive the tank a lot again because honestly, the Gladiator camo just kind of sucks. It's so pixelated. I don't know why Wargaming didn't revamp the camo when they gave it PBR. It's something I'm a little bit disappointed in because it is a cool looking camo. It's just too many pixels for me to like. But yeah, I think this camo actually looks really solid. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think about the Prog, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.